time for the third kit in Simon's Matchbox challenge. What's he sent me this time? I don't know yet. Why don't we find out together right here on Gary's Stuff. Hi, I'm Gary. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. Channel viewer Simon John has sent me the challenge of making a load of kits from the Matchbox label. These were sold primarily in the 70s and 80s, and they're old tools, they're old designs, but you know what? Some of them are astonishingly good. This is the third in the series. I don't yet know what it is. You and I will find out together in just a moment. But all I will ask, if you enjoy the video, please remember, give it the old imperial thumbs up on the like button below there, because every like counts and it's a free way to support the channel. Another free way to do that is to make sure you've subscribed, hit that bell, and you'll be notified of all my future content as it is published. And of course, if you want to make a more concrete contribution, links to all of my other programs are in the information box below. Okay then, let's find out what Simon has sent me this time. So let's see what's inside this one. I cut out the address label just for basic internet security, but there's a box in here, so I can't see what's in it, which is a good thing. Oh. There we go, into the recycling with that. Simon's Matchbox Challenge. Let's see what's inside. It's always very exciting, this part, seeing what we get. I see what you did there, Simon. I see what you did there. This is cool. The Matchbox Chinook. Just when FX are releasing their 1/72nd scale bone vertical Chinook in RF colours, there's a Matchbox one. Amazing, absolutely brilliant. We'll have a look inside this box in a minute. So on the front we have box art of Zulu Alpha 711, Chinook, Royal Air Force, massive great big Union flags on it, very impressive. I'm going to guess this is some sort of relief effort or something like that they're involved in. On this side we have what it looks like in the plastic, that is 3 colours of plastic that it's supplied in. Skill level 3 roughly, they say. And on the back here are the schemes it comes with. This is an aircraft in Lebanon in 84, Brit 4 Leb Task Force. The aircraft's based at 7 Squadron Odium. In here, this is Bravo November from 18 Squadron in the Falklands in 1982, the only survivor of the only one that was ever flown off of Atlantic Conveyor before it was sunk. Bravo November, of course, is one of the schemes used in the Airfix kit. And finally, there's an American one here from 159th Aviation Battalion, 101 Airborne, the famous 101st Airborne Division at Fort Campbell in Kentucky, a US Army colour. So this is all very exciting to have another Bravo November, which is pretty fun. The kit is, as it says, in 1/72nd scale. Let's have a look inside the box. Oh, interestingly, there's a bit of glue. I don't know if that came with it originally or whether that came with the kit as it was sold by on the second-hand market or whatever, but that's really nice because I do use that from time to time. There's a decal sheet which may need a bit of cheering up. There's the instruction sheet here, and there's the plastic pieces. Let's have a look at all these bits one by one. So the first frame is in grey plastic. The frames are really weird because they're square. The actual frames themselves are square, which is really odd. It doesn't feel very rigid. But anyway, the plastic looks good. 1987 kit. So the fuselage halves, I'm guessing maybe loading ramp, bits of the nose, things like that. The second frame here in dark olive green plastic this is basically the floor of the whole thing with the cockpit up here and bits of engine components and bits and pieces like that, and the undercarriage as well. And finally a frame printed in black plastic. This is the actual underside of the aircraft as opposed to the deck. The deck's slightly higher up. The seats, the rotor assemblies, the hubs here. Presume these are rotor covers for the discs. And I'm guessing parts of the front end here. And of course there's a frame of clear plastic parts, single piece for the entire front end, and then windows at the side. Some of them are bulged observation windows as well. If we have a look at the plastic itself, there's a bit of flash here. You can see the mouldings are okay. Some of these lines are very, very thick. Door lines are thick. Panel lines in general are quite thick, the big ones. However, there are some smaller much smaller, finer panel lines, but these are all raised, which is annoying. So what I'm tempted to rescribe these. It would be a long old job, but I am very tempted to because I'd rather that they were recessed lines and I can sort of get some stuff into it and bring them out a bit. Yeah, the plastic's okay. It is very Matchbox. It is quite chunky. The edges aren't very sharp, so the fit's going to be not terribly accurate. Well, be accurate enough, but not precise, if you see what I mean. And also here again, these lines probably would be recessed, so I may have to scribe those in just for my own sort of peace of mind, really. Some of the smaller parts here, the sort of cyclic and collective controls here, which are they're okay. They're very basic. Hubs look all right. I'm not sure how sturdy they're going to be. They do actually have pins. You can see the ends of the rotor blades here have pins, and the hubs do have. Sorry, they have pins, and on the ends of the rotors there are pin holes, and then there's a connector on here. The cyclic, the thing that controls the angle of each blade is there. I don't know how they're going to stand up to manufacture, but we'll see. It should be all right. I mean, it shouldn't be terrible. And once it's all glued together, it should be okay. Again, the panel lines on the rotors are raised, not sunk. I don't know whether I'll bother chasing all of those down. And of course, these are actually quite flat, whereas the rotors on the Waka, when they're at rest, are actually quite drooped. I know the Airfix kit has drooping rotor blades, but it's okay. It's usable. It's not like it's impossible to use it. They are usable. The decal sheet has This center part here, that's common to both the RAF versions. Then there's has specific markings for Bravo November of 18 Squadron, Falklands, and of Echo Tango from number 7 Squadron, with the massive great big Union flags used when they're on service in the Lebanon. And then down here there are the decals used for the US Army aircraft, and then there's a instrument panel on there as well. The decal backing is looking very faded. There's still some reasonable white there, so it's not actually faded per se, but they're not looking that bright, and I can already see some pretty big registration issues, but I'll show you more detail. Straight away here, when you're looking at in a bit more detail, this is a standard 0.5mm pencil. These are really not clear, and you can see the amount of offset on the print. That's a huge lack of registration. That is not very nice. I may well have to try and find some alternative decals for this somewhere. Again, you can see on the warning marks on the stepping areas. Very poor. The other thing to mention on these decals is, being old, these larger ones are massively cracked all the way through, which is not very helpful. Some of these longer ones, like these walkway ones, can see cracks here and here, 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 here. 6 or 7 cracks along the whole length there. Not looking great. So what with that and the registration issue, I mean, look at the way these are out of alignment here and here. They're pretty awful. I'm going to source some of these decals for myself somewhere. The instructions are quite bizarre. This is all very good, a quick sort of history of the Chinook, and some basic stats here. Open this up, there's a colour callouts with all the various different colours here. Matchbox or Revel paints, and these are Revel paint numbers, I'm guessing, where some of the paint colours go in particular. But the actual instructions are massive. I mean, really? This is what, well, it's bigger than A3. Don't think it's A2. It's sort of like between A3 and A2. It's enormous. Also upside down, of course. There you go. So yeah, you start here with the cockpit, which is grand, and you get down to the bottom here of this huge sheet, which you're going to have to fold over a few times to make sense. And then you go on to another massive sheet. I am struggling to understand why. So we've got to, there we go. Struggling to understand why they didn't do this more in a fold-over booklet form, and split these up in a more sort of sensible and logical way. Because it's not easy to handle this sort of size. Anyway, and then the markings, the layouts for all of the decals are up here, which are fine. There's schemes here. These are the RAF ones up here, so that's where all the RAF stencils go. There's 3 versions of the RAF one. There's Echo Tango as it was in 1984 in the Lebanon, then in 86 as it was serving all over the place really, but not with the massive great big Union flags on it. And then also there's the markings for Bravo November in the Falklands in 82, and here are the markings and stencils for the US Army aircraft here. This is a huge sheet, and I don't understand why they couldn't design that to be a bit smaller. That's a very well-timed choice. I think you will agree, given that Airfix are fairly imminently going to launch their own 1/72nd scale Chinook, but a completely brand new tooling. So it will be fascinating to see how this 40-year-old kit stacks up against something made right up to date. If you want to see how I get on with building this 40-year-old kit, then do remember, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, and you'll be notified of all my future content as it comes up. And of course, anything you like on the channel, please do give it the old imperial thumbs up on the like button below there, because every like counts. Thank you so very much for watching. Hope to see you soon. Take good care now, and goodbye.